featured speaker, Jaymes. While the world cowers before the onslaught of artificial intelligence gobbling up all of our jobs, some among us, roll over the AI interlopers with iron fists. Jaymes uses AI to augment the scale he can operate as a solo entrepreneur, manage his insane schedule, and more. Let's learn his secrets.
Thank you so much, Madam Megan. I am a centaur. Now, what do I mean by that? A centaur is a mythical beast, a mixture of man and animal, a synthesis, a chimera of the wild, the untamed, with the rational mind of humanity rising over and supplanting it, and using both to great strength. This is an analogy that has been used by a great number of futurists to explore ways that we can not be overwhelmed by artificial intelligence and instead merge with artificial intelligence to make augmented intelligence be the way of the future. In my own small way, I participate in that future by using artificial intelligence to augment what I can do. There are a lot of different things that I can do myself and things that I don't want to do myself, things that would be better if I didn't do myself. And I, of course, can delegate to people, but that gets expensive after a little while, particularly if you're talking about copywriting, or if I want to hire a person just to do all my scheduling for me, that could be a little bit problematic. I do hire people to do certain things for me, things that I can't get a computer to do. But I want to share with you 3 of my AI servants, slaves, assistants, whatever you want to call them, that have saved me money, making it so I don't have to hire poor people to do it for me, but actually help in ways that humans really aren't all that good at in some instances. The first I want to introduce you to is Reclaim, and I will actually put some links to these at the end with some invite codes if you want to try them out for yourself. But I will first talk about Reclaim. This is Reclaim. This is actually my current week. And if I click over here, you can see my next week. This is an artificially intelligent scheduling app. What I can do is I can plug in specific tasks, and these are also pulled from my to-do list. And then it automatically blocks out time in the future for me to be able to actually know what to do next. What's absolutely fascinating about this is that if I plug in a particular event, or one is automatically scheduled by one of my other services, such as Calendly, it will automatically adjust everything that's happening on here in a way that will make sure that all of my priorities, all of my deadlines will still be respected and be accomplished. So I can plug a thing in and say, hey, Reclaim, I want to get this done by next month. It's going to take me about 5 hours spread out in half-hour increments of blocks. And it takes precedence in this way and goes, all right, I can do that. And it plugs it in for me dynamically and moves them around as needed. It is tremendously helpful, and that's why I have any hair left here at all. The next tool that I want to introduce you to is Jasper. This is another of my favorites. This is Jasper. This is a copywriting assistant. I plugged one in here as a test to demonstrate how I can write an entire blog post in just a couple of seconds. So I put in the topic, what I want to talk about, the tone of voice, the intended audience. So it's going to write about how dangerous it is to use artificial intelligence to get away with not doing work. And as it just generates it up here, it's going to pull it out, and it's going to spit out a rough draft for me to work with. And what's nice about this is that while it's not a complete and perfect product, sometimes it actually can be, it actually gives you your title, it gives you your introduction, it gives you a body with different points to it, it gives you a conclusion, wraps it all up. You can type in here, you can pop it into documents and then run other commands to be able to actually modify it and edit as you go and add in more features. You can expand on certain portions of it. You can tell it to write it on bullet points. You can rewrite it for a different audience. You can tell it, say, hey, here's an ad that's targeted for single moms. I want you to write this instead for busy and harried managers, which I actually target both of those audiences, and I need to rewrite, add copy for both those things. And it will do that for me. It'll adjust on the fly and rephrase it. I don't always like the phrasing. Sometimes it'll write an article and I'll disagree with it. And so I'll argue with it and I'll actually get a better product in the end because of that. The third product that I use extensively is Midjourney, which you might have seen all over the place, because this is one of the artificially intelligent video graphics creation tools. These became super popular with DALL-E, which is another one of the algorithms that are out there, where you can put in prompts and the artificial intelligence will generate images that match those prompts. Let me share a few that I've created. This one here is actually a black box of artificial intelligence reflecting back the dreams of humanity's collective subconscious, and which is basically what it is. And this is what it gave me. It also gave me a few other options. This is another result from that particular prompt. Looks like something out of a mystery or a horror show or something. But you can also do amazing art craft. Ask, what is the meaning of life? It tells me evidently the meaning is bright and starry and colorful. You ask it to show you some anime art, it can do that. You might notice some of these around when you're working in Nerdmasters, because some of these will actually get used as backdrops for some of the events that I do. So there are a lot of things you can do with this that are tremendously fun. Tons of different art styles you can play with, lots of different things you can do. What I love here is this one is a fascinating piece of art expressing emotion, and something I like to look at and ponder over, like, how did it capture this depth of emotion and this nuance? Of course, it doesn't do very good with complicated lines. This looks kind of Lovecraftian, a little bit horrific. It doesn't know how arms really work all that well, but you know, it still looks cool. When you modify these and you work with them, it can be a fascinating way to explore not just what I want to see. When I work with artificial intelligent image generation, I have to kind of surrender a little bit of my own control of the art and explore a reflection of, like, a snapshot of the collective dreamscape of all of humanity that is online, which is an interesting dichotomy, a paradox, a synergy, a centaur, you might say, of individualism and collectivism. It's a really interesting exploration that I really love to use. So Midjourney is my preferred choice for image generation. Jasper is my preferred choice for words generation, and Reclaim is my preferred choice for time generation, if you want to look at it that way. And I will share links to those in the chat. Thank you so much for my show and tell of my favorite little slaves. I mean, friends.
Game over.